And guys, I'm telling you, you're gonna look back in 3 years, and 5 years, and 10 years, the people in this room are the true pioneers of this space, and all of it's because of this man right here. And so David, we love you, we appreciate you, and thank you for starting this journey for a lot of people, including my family, and including so many people in this room.
Wow, well, I just want to say, Eric, you are the top diplomat of the Bitcoin Nation. And the Bitcoin Nation is in every country on the planet. This is the Bitcoin Nation, so good job, sir. Let's jump into business, okay? You've dived headfirst into this. You've gotten involved in some entrepreneurial endeavors. MetaPlanet, I think, first and foremost. We were supposed to be joined today, actually, by Simon up here, but for some things we won't go into, he can't join us. Talk about your involvement with MetaPlanet.
So where is Simon, first of all? He was right here. I saw him a second ago. Where's Simon? Simon, stand up, buddy. Come here. Come do a little victory lap over here. What this guy has done for Bitcoin in Asia is unbelievable. I mean, he is the Michael Saylor of Asia. He's a wonderful guy, a guy who's become a dear friend of mine, and he called me a year or two ago and he goes, Eric, would you like to become involved with the company? And I said I'd absolutely be honored to. And I couldn't be more proud to stand by his side. You know, he has single-handedly changed not only Japan in terms of the way they looked at digital assets, but a lot of Asia, and he deserves tremendous credit. So to our good friend, we absolutely, we love you. You're great.
So there's MetaPlanet, but there's also American Bitcoin. Talk about American Bitcoin.
So American Bitcoin, I've got our great partner, one of my great partners, Asher here, and Mike Ho. Asher's over there. But listen, I think if you know there's a family that loves America, I love the entire world, but if you know there's a family that's truly American to the core, it's ours. We've got some of the cheapest energy in the world in America, in Texas, and we developed a company called American Bitcoin. We are one of the biggest Bitcoin mining companies on earth. We mine about 3% of the world's Bitcoin every single day. We're about to go public on the NASDAQ very soon, coming up. And you know, our rough cost per energy per mining of Bitcoin is about $37,000, right? On an asset that's trading at, what is it today, $112,000, $113,000. And so we're doing the Bitcoin mining game as well as anybody on earth, better than anybody on earth. And at the same time, we're doing kind of a strategy model on the other side. And so we could not be more proud to launch this incredible endeavor. I think we're going to be one of the greatest Bitcoin companies anywhere in the world. But what's so cool is you have this across the board. You've got the Simons leading the way, you've got the Davids leading the way, you've got American Bitcoin that's going to lead the way, you have Michael Saylor with obviously strategy. You know, he's obviously, you know, truly leading the way by what he's done. You've got nation states that are buying the hell out of Bitcoin. You've got Fortune 500 companies that are buying the hell out of Bitcoin. I mean, you've got the biggest families, you've got the biggest companies on earth that believe in this digital store of value. Everybody wants Bitcoin, everybody is buying Bitcoin, and that's an incredible thing, and that's why I've always said that I really believe in the next several years Bitcoin hits $1 million. There's no question Bitcoin hits $1 million. And when you're in the room with certain people, and I had breakfast this morning with, you know, a couple of the most powerful people in the region in the hospitality space, and you're literally sitting there trying to explain to them what digital currency is, you realize how early we all are to this race and how big of a benefit that is, right? I hear from people all the time, you know, should I get into cryptocurrency? Did I miss it? Am I too late? And I literally start laughing at them. I go, we haven't even scratched the surface of what Bitcoin is going to be. We haven't even scratched the surface of what digital assets are going to be. This is the time to buy. Volatility is your friend. Buy right now. Shut your eyes. Hold it for the next 5 years, and you are going to do terrifically well. Yes. And so it's been so much fun, guys. It's been so much fun.
You know, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question, so you may not have an answer off the cuff, but you know, when I think about who gets in the room with the most interesting, wealthiest, most powerful people in the world, I really couldn't imagine anyone more than the Trump family who is in those rooms. As you've been on this journey, what's the most interesting things you've heard from people? I mean, you're talking to the most powerful families in China, you know, but you've been to many countries to talk about Bitcoin. What surprised you the most?
Well, listen, I've had I had one person who runs a major country tell me that they literally take the entire energy supply of a major city in the middle of a winter and use it to mine Bitcoin because that's how much they believe in the asset, right? And so, I'm not going to tell you which country it is or who it was, but what I can tell you is there are sovereign wealth funds who really believe in it. You've got the biggest families who believe in it. You've got the biggest banks that believe in it. You've got accumulators that believe in it. And more, you have retail consumers that are starting to understand it, but not only understand it. I think there's a lot of people who understand what Bitcoin is and what cryptocurrency is, but never really had the access to it, right? Every single day, it's becoming more accessible to the everyday person. It's easier to get. It's starting to be custody at major financial institutions all over the world. The exchanges are getting better and getting more user-friendly. I used to be the guy who, coming out of the hospitality business, would yell at the exchanges saying, it's too difficult. You're making it, on DeFi, you're making it too difficult to ultimately buy cryptocurrency, and it's literally holding back the masses. The exact opposite's happening. Another thing that I'm working on is a company called World Liberty Financial. But we're literally trying to get cryptocurrency to the masses. We're trying to bring hospitality to cryptocurrency. And more people are finding their inroads into being able to buy it and being able to purchase it. In America, people are buying it for the retirement plans for the first time. It just became available. So you've got trillions of dollars of liquidity that's opening up, that are allowing digital assets in for the first time. You've got BlackRock, you've got all the biggest banks in the world that are buying it, right? You've got all the major companies in the world that are holding it on their treasury of their companies, right? And they're not letting it go. Those retirement accounts are not letting Bitcoin go. Those companies are not letting Bitcoin go. Those sovereign wealth funds are not letting Bitcoin go. And there's only 21 million coins. It's the only commodity in the entire world that they're not creating more of. If gold ever goes to $20,000 an ounce, I'm gonna knock down this damn building and I'll find gold in that column right there. We'll find it. That can't happen with cryptocurrency. That can't happen with Bitcoin. It's finite. And that's what makes it so damn powerful. And being in the room with those people, including the people this morning who are all of a sudden intrigued and you better believe are gonna go off and start buying Bitcoin. Again, the people that are in it now, the people that are buying soon, those are the people who are going to win the race, because those markets, those capital markets, are opening every single day and just making it more accessible to the masses that want the greatest asset that's arguably ever been created.
So in Nashville, your father promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world. And he laid out a pretty ambitious timeline. I think some people were skeptical he could get it done. And then he's proceeded to just knock it down one after another. We just got the stable coin bill passed. We got the SBR signed into order. He's done so many things, it's kind of wild. We're here in Hong Kong today. I don't know if I should say this, but the other Bitcoin superpower in the world is China. It's one of the biggest markets for Bitcoin miners, Bitcoin users, Bitcoin help. How do you compare, what America's doing on the policy front and what is coming next, and, where the other Bitcoin superpowers of the world are on their policy side?
Well, listen, congratulations to everybody in here, because there's no question that you have made an unbelievable mark on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. There's no question that China is a hell of a power when it comes to this world and doing it well. By the way, I give the same credit to the Middle East. The Middle East has really embraced cryptocurrency in a massive way, and they are running fast in that endeavor. And by the way, there's a couple small countries in South America. They don't have the buying power, they don't have the GDP, they don't have the true monetary means, but what's equally as important is they have a hell of a lot of heart and soul, and they believe in it. And so what they lack maybe in terms of monetary resources, they certainly made up for in spirit. But again, not to try and ever play, one country against another. I do believe, because my father really believes in digital assets, and he took over from a totally incompetent president. I can say that Biden was totally incompetent. all of a sudden he's changed the trajectory of America 180 degrees, and he did so instantly. The second he got into office, he embraced the digital revolution because he understands that that's the future of finance. And so we went from 0 to 100 instantaneously. I mean, I think in terms of America, I think we've made more progress in terms of digital assets in the last 7 months under his presidency than we probably did in the 10 previous years.
Yes!
And the reality is the entire world is following. So much of the world looks to America to lead the way on so many issues, and then they use that as a little bit of a roadmap to either to emulate or to chart a path, albeit they might diverge slightly. And what he's done has really kind of transformed America, and I really do believe the United States right now is winning the digital revolution only because you have somebody that's so committed to its success, somebody who truly believes, somebody who owned the asset long before that they were president, who saw the vision, but also somebody that had every bank and financial institution so weaponized against them that it forced them in. People always ask me, if the banks hadn't gone after your family, if they hadn't shut down all your accounts, do you think you'd be doing this? And I said, I don't think I'd be here. I think I'd still be building every single hotel around the world and in every market. By the way, I still do a lot of that. But I don't think I would have fallen into cryptocurrency the same way. It was a combination of them canceling the hell out of us, them coming after us relentlessly simply because my father was in politics, combined with the fact that they were going after all of you. And guess what? I started meeting some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life who are incredibly honest, who believe in the future, who believe in technology, who are great people, who wanted to build dynamic companies that could, transform the future of life. And they treated you like dogs. They treated you like hell for no reason whatsoever. And they were doing the same to our family. They were doing the same to us. And so, they often say kind of the enemy of your enemy is actually your friend. That's how the Trump family became friends with this community. The enemy of your enemy actually became your friend. And, as you talk to these people, you realize how brilliant they were. As you talk to these people, you realize how antiquated the old financial system was, right? At 4:59 on a Friday afternoon, you can no longer send money until the next Monday, which if you're very lucky, you might actually get to the intended recipient by Monday afternoon or Tuesday. That's not the modern world. Give me a break. That's not, finance has to be 24/7, 7 days a week. That's what people expect. That's what people demand. And we're changing that every single day. And so the road's been beautiful. The road's been something I would have never guessed in my wildest dreams. If David could have brought me back 10 years, no way would I ever have thought I would have been here. But it's also probably been the most rewarding venture of my entire life.
So your father's put Bitcoin on the global stage, and I have this perspective that money bounds people together, and so the Bitcoin nation, no matter where you live in the world, there's a common bond, and I think there's a big future for Bitcoin as it comes to diplomacy. And so I got a question this morning that I wanted to ask you in that regard from a CNN journalist that's here. Your father and President Xi are going to be sitting down to talk at some point soon. Is Bitcoin going to be one of the topics they talk about?
I really expected that question. I don't know if hey, listen, I would certainly love them to talk about Bitcoin because it's certainly something I'm passionate about. I think they've probably got larger things to talk about. But hey, that would be my question. David, that'd be my instant question. Talking about Bitcoin.
I think I just want to throw an idea out there. I mean, maybe we could pay tariffs in Bitcoin going forward. I think that'd be a great idea.
That's interesting. hey, listen, I think it's two things that America and China are definitely leading the way on is cryptocurrency. So it's probably actually something that the two of them understand better than anybody else in the world. But no, if you look at this, if you zoom out, I mean, kind of joking aside to David's thing, and I said this earlier. This has really become a community, and it's one of the most diverse communities in the world. I mean, you have more diversity at a table when talking about Bitcoin. People from different cultures, different societies, different languages, different religions, than I'd say any group of people ever. I mean, it really is a global community of people that all truly believe in something that's so powerful, that's so transformational, that's going to redefine the future. And it's beautiful. I've met more incredible people from more incredible places through this community than, yeah, honestly, even hospitality, which is kind of, has always been my bread and butter. It's kind of hard to believe that this group, I mean, so many of the people you'll see in this room, you'll see at the next conference in Miami, you'll see them at the next consensus conference in Toronto, you'll see them in Abu Dhabi, and you'll see them everywhere in between. This is truly a global community, and I really believe that's great for humanity. That's number one. Number two is one other thing that never gets talked about, and it might even be a little bit crude to say, but guys, the traditional financial system in the world has benefited guys like me, and it hasn't benefited the vast majority of people, right? It benefits the people that, were fortunate enough to have some zeros behind their name. They're the ones that have leverage. They're the ones that have power. They're the ones that can call the heads of the bank, and negotiate off a full point on a loan, or get all the fees knocked out, or listen, there's a lot of ways that we can, or just borrow money in an environment where they wouldn't give other people money. You, for the first time, have kind of a community which is agnostic to true wealth. And that's a great thing. It gives the person in sub-Saharan Africa, the same opportunity as it gives the, executive on Wall Street in New York City. And that should never be forgotten. It's the first time in any kind of finance, probably in the history of the world, where there is no kind of disparity between socioeconomic classes, and that should really be cherished.
So this is going to be my last question. This is everyone's favorite question. Since you mentioned it, adding a couple zeros behind your name, what's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin a couple years from now?
Well, I've said this for a long time, but there's no question in my mind that Bitcoin hits $1 million. There's no question about it. And by the way, I don't think it has to stop there. I think it can go a lot higher. You have every person who wants an asset class, and you have a very limited supply, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out where that goes. Then you combine a traditionally kind of hard asset that didn't have as much utility behind it. It was a true gold. It was digital gold. It was a store of value. And now every single day, and David probably sees this much more than I do, but every single day they're figuring out new ways to kind of stake it, to get yield on it, to use it for everyday purchases, to use it, as kind of buying power, right? So more and more you're taking this digital gold that was really just a store of value before, and you're putting massive utility behind Bitcoin. And so, I mean, every use case for it is fantastic. And honestly, volatility is our friend. Like, people ask me, like, when do you buy? Buy right now. Buy this second, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many people over the years I've told to buy Bitcoin, and every single time they come back to me having not done it, and they say that I wish I would have bought. In fact, I made one of the great all-time Bitcoin calls on Twitter. I think it hit 83,000 or 82,000. And I go, right now would be a great time to start buying Bitcoin. Sure enough, it hits, 79? Was like 79 the bottom, like 78.9 or something like that. It was like 79. And it goes from 79 to like 124 in, 90 days? And I called it within like 1,000 or 2,000 of the bottom on, and then people come back to me, you should have told me. I'm like, I put it out on my Twitter following to, 10 million people around the globe, like when to buy Bitcoin, but I really believe in it. Go, buy it now, close your eyes, hold it long term, do not get rid of it. I think Michael Saylor always says, sell a kidney, buy Bitcoin, right? And I think he's, I know obviously he jokes when he says that, but he's right. Buy it, hold it, and I think you're going to do extremely well.
He's not joking, for sure. Actually, he sold one of his kidneys, I'm pretty sure, so. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being a part of a historic event. I want to thank Eric for joining us all the way in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, can we give a shout out to the one and only Eric Trump?